We're joined now by Tamer Qarmout, an assistant professor of public policy with the Doha Institute of Graduate Studies and also a specialist on conflict resolution and international aid. Thank you very much for your time, Mr. Qarmout. What do you make of the latest comments by Hamas that there will be no more release of captives until the end of the war? Just how damaging is it to the whole process to revive a ceasefire?
It's, Elizabeth, it's very damaging, but it's not surprising. I mean, given that the Americans have given the Israelis the green light to continue with this military operation, the Israelis are emboldened, they're encouraged to go all the way till the end. And it's not a secret that the goal they have stated from the beginning of this war is toppling down Hamas. I think it's not a realistic goal, and I'm not sure until now what's the end result for Israel, how Israel is going to achieve this in the Gaza Strip, because for me there is only one scenario that I can imagine or envision if Israel wants to go all this way, which is...
You mean all the way in destroying Hamas?
Destroying Hamas. It means that they have to reoccupy the entire Gaza Strip. And I fear again that the transfer scenario is still there on the table. I know everyone talks the talks, the Americans say no for transfer, the Europeans say so, Arab governments. But really what you see now is pushing all these people into the south, into this small corner, small area of Al-Mawasi and Khan Yunis. That's a recipe for a disaster. This is a ticking bomb. They're getting closer to the Egyptian border. You'll have millions, hundreds of thousands cornered there in this narrow corner of Gaza Strip. And if the campaign stays on the same pace, it's going to explode. I mean, people will cross to the other side of the borders. I can't see but this scenario happening, given the very dire situation in the Gaza Strip.
But they can't go to the other side of the border. There is a crossing. They can't just get across.
But you never know what. I mean, so this is a war zone now. I mean, tactically, Israel can. I don't want to go into scenarios, but historically, Gazans have fled once in 2007 to Egypt. They crossed to shop. This was during another vicious siege Israel imposed. But most of them returned when they were done with their shopping of basic commodities. But anything can happen. I mean, you have so many militants inside the Gaza Strip, resistance groups, Israel there. I mean, bombing or opening a hole in the border crossing, I mean, why not? I mean, and imagine this scenario, even, the official gates of the borders, if people start flocking in hundreds or thousands towards that gate, you think the Egyptians will start shooting at them? Who's going to stop these refugees? These are refugees. Well, so again, I'm still fearing this scenario. I know everyone is talking the talk and saying no for transfer, but the reality is so dire.
That is a scenario. Let's talk about something that's happening now. Since the end of the ceasefire on Friday morning, we have seen hundreds of civilians being killed. We are once again seeing those horrific pictures of, children with terrible injuries in hospitals. Who is going to stop that? The US went to great lengths to say we have told Israel to protect civilian lives. Clearly, that's not happening.
No, of course. Yesterday when the bombing campaigns resumed, the first thing the Israelis did is they targeted an UNRWA school in Jabalia, in the northern part of the Gaza Strip. And then basically what they're doing is ethnic cleansing, mass ethnic cleansing. They want to empty the northern part of the Gaza Strip. So Gaza and the north, for the Israelis, this has to be a buffer zone, the entire north of Gaza.
And they've said that. Reuters reported yesterday that Israel has spoken to many regional leaders about creating this so-called buffer zone on the Palestinian side of the Gaza Strip.
So the buffer zone, yes, but they're talking about a narrow zone, which is like, a 1 kilo or 2 kilos inside Gaza. But what I'm talking about now is they're not done yet with emptying the entire north, Gaza and the north.
Is it possible to do that? There are still hundreds of thousands of people in the north, are they?
By targeting UNRWA schools and residential places again, they're asking people to leave south. So as if they have a clear strategy of emptying the north of Gaza and the north. And for me, that's troubling, because once you squeeze the entire population of the Gaza Strip in the south, and you cut it into two halves, you have full control of the upper north. I think at a later point, this could be enough for Israel to stop the war, if it really manages to have a full control of half of the Gaza Strip.
But is that possible? 49 days of bombing the north, and Hamas shows that it can still release captives from Gaza City, in the center of Gaza.
Well, you know, if they continue on the same pace, I mean, I'm afraid it is possible because people have to flee eventually. So what happened when the war stopped before the truce? Yeah, hundreds of thousands remain in Gaza and the north, but also some reports say that 400 or close to 500,000 already went south. So, and the numbers are debated. But now, as the way the systematic bombing going again after schools, after refugee centers, after, you know, so it's as if they're still not done with this objective, which is Gaza and the north, to completely empty it from its own people. And it's a horrifying scenario for me. And then later on, it's, I don't know, it's a stage-based, it seems to me it's a stage-based war, you know, approach. So basically they're creating all these horrifying conditions, squeezing people in the south, and eventually, probably in their mind, they want, or they're thinking that Hamas then will have to engage with us on an exit strategy for Hamas. But realistically speaking, again, the main goal of this war, which is toppling down Hamas, it will not happen unless Israel has full control of the Gaza Strip and stays in years in the Gaza Strip. And again, this offers no guarantees.
I'm really sorry. I have to interrupt you because